Hello student, myself Pankaj Kumar, working as a assistant professor in the Department of Computer Application. Today we learn the basic concept of cloud services model. Basically can be defined mainly in three types: infrastructure as a services, which is known as IaaS. Second one is platform as a services, which is known as PaaS. Third one is software as a services, uh, which is known as SaaS. So we discuss one by one. In the diagram, the cloud service model can be diagram in the diagram, which can be show how it can be implemented on which layer and for which user can be implemented. If you see in the diagram in the bottom, IaaS services for the storage for the actual data storage, which is known as cloud data storage, and the PaaS services is the application developer who can develop a application for the customers or their clients or their organization or their academics, or both of the or combination of them. And the last one is which is on bottom, SaaS, or SaaS, which is used for the end user. So we move to the next point. What is infrastructure as a services? And it is also called hardware as a services. IaaS is also called a hardware as a services, because it is implemented at physical layer. Just like if Amazon want to access, Amazon want to store the data of client for the client. It must have to maintain the data in the cloud data center. So every infrastructure as a service is also known as a hardware as a service. It is a computing infrastructure managed over the internet. In the cloud computing, the backbone of the cloud computing is networking devices, internet speed, and there is a lots of basic requirement to complete the cloud computing services. It is a cloud computing infrastructure managed over the internet. And the last point is the main advantage of using IaaS is that it helps user to avoid the cost and complexity of purchasing and managing the physical service. If you do not want to purchase or manage the particular services, you can use third party as a service. Suppose you want to celebrate the birthday of someone. Then you can have multiple option. Just like if you can do by your own cost or own services. And the second one is the you can acquire the space to celebrate the birthday. And third one is the a third party who can organize everything in the birthday, and you have to enjoy the birthday celebration. These are the different scenario, these are the different scenario to celebrate the birthday. In such a way, the infrastructure as a services, which basically used by the company or organization, which can be shown by the green color you saw in the figure. All the services, if you lease a car, then only managed by the third party is car and finance. All the things you have to manage by yourself: servicing, insurance, road tax, garage, fuel, tolls, driver. And in the terms of infrastructure, which can be compared with the car lease, application, data, runtime, middleware, you can be managed by. And the virtualization, servers, storage, networking managed by the third party, which can provide the infrastructure as a services. So move the characteristics of the AaaS resource are available as a service. Resource are highly scalable, dynamic and flexible. GUI and API based application, automated administrative task. Platform as a services, which is known as PaaS. Platform as a services where the client can deploy their own application and host them. The client is free from hassle for setting up the infrastructure, managing and storing and storage services. This is this services is also known as independent. This services is also uh, called for the independence of the hardware, because there is no involvement of hardware. Basically, this can be implemented by the developer or software engineer to develop a application. So the objective of this layer is to independent of the hardware. That is why here we made a uh, bold the content of independent of hardware. You can see in the diagram, that is a car had and the platform as services compared with it. If you hired a car, you can only manage fuel, road tolls, driver and car finance, servicing, insurance, road tax, garage, which can be managed by the card hired company. In such a way, the platform as a services can be compared with the car hiring. Only you have to manage application and data. All the things can be managed by the third party: runtime, middleware, operating system, virtualization, servers, storage and networking. These are the characteristics of the PaaS. Accessible to the various user via the same development application. And second, integrate with the wave services and database, builds on the virtualization technique, so resources can easily be scaled up or down as per the organization need. Support multiple language and framework, provide an ability to auto scale. So move to our next point: software as services, which is more popular in the world. India is the third largest company to use third largest country to use software as services, because software as a services can be only used by the which company such a country whose per capita income is average. And the top one world number one world country is used software as a services, because in this software as a services, all the things can be managed by the third party. You have to use the just if I take the example, Swiggy, Zomato, Ola, Uber, such type of services, only you have to use this service. Only you have to use those resources. Suppose you like using booking the car. Only you have to book the car and pay them. Nothing you have to worried about the overall things. So that is why the software as services is more popularity rather than both of them we are discussing in the earlier video, in the earlier PPTs. So it basically it is a way of delivering services or applications over the internet. Instead of installing and maintaining the software, we simply access it via internet. It eliminates the expenses of hardware as well as software maintenance, because as a client we do not worry about the maintenance of hardware and software. And the fourth one is the pay as per go. Whatever you pay, such type of services will provide. If you pay more, then more of the features will be provided by the company. Web based software, on demand software, hosted software, these are the software as a services which can show you in the figure. All the things can be all the services can be managed by the third party. These are the references, and thanks you. Meet you in the next video. Okay.